In the twilight hours between worlds, when the veil grows thin and ancient wisdom stirs from its eternal slumber, the Seeker found themselves standing before the obsidian gates of Anubis's quantum sanctuary. The god of transitions, keeper of sacred thresholds, materialized from the cosmic shadows, with eyes that held the depth of infinite galaxies and the weight of timeless knowledge. The air itself seemed to pulse with anticipation as Anubis raised his staff. Its crystalline head catching light from dimensions beyond mortal perception. His voice, when it came, resonated through every atom of existence, carrying within it the first of 35 sacred teachings that would forever transform the Seeker's understanding of reality itself. Child of the quantum field. Anubis intoned his words, weaving themselves into the fabric of space-time. You have come seeking the awakening of your soul magic, yet you do not yet comprehend that magic is not something you acquire, but something you remember. The first teaching reveals this truth. Consciousness is not a product of matter, but the very foundation from which all matter springs forth like dreams from the mind of the eternal dreamer. As the god spoke, the Seeker felt their perception shifting, expanding beyond the limitations of ordinary awareness. They began to see the quantum field not as empty space, but as an infinite ocean of potential, alive with possibilities that danced and swirled in response to conscious observation. Every thought, every intention, every flicker of awareness sent ripples through this cosmic medium, creating interference patterns that would eventually crystallize into physical experience. The second teaching flowed seamlessly from the first, as Anubis gestured toward the swirling energies that surrounded them. Observe how the quantum field responds to your very presence, he commanded, and the Seeker watched in wonder as their attention caused waves of luminous energy to coalesce and disperse in intricate patterns. This field is not separate from you. It is the divine playground of consciousness, the cosmic canvas upon which your soul paints the masterpiece of your existence. To awaken your magic, you must first recognize that you are not a separate being trying to influence external forces, but consciousness itself, exploring its own infinite creative potential. The god's form began to shift and flow, sometimes appearing as the familiar jackal-headed deity, sometimes as pure geometric light, sometimes as the very space between thoughts. This constant transformation served as a living demonstration of the third teaching, which Anubis now revealed with the patience of eternity itself. Intention, the god declared, is the sacred architect's blueprint that gives structure to the formless energy of creation. But not all intentions are created equal. The intentions born of fear, desperation, and ego-driven desire create chaotic patterns in the quantum field, manifesting experiences of struggle and limitation. True magical intention arises from the deepest chambers of your being, where your individual will aligns perfectly with the cosmic will, where your personal desires merge seamlessly with the greater pattern of existence. The Seeker felt something profound stirring within their chest, a recognition that transcended intellectual understanding. They began to perceive the difference between wanting something from a place of lack and intending something from a place of wholeness. The former, created resistance and struggle, while the latter generated a smooth, effortless flow of manifestation that felt as natural as breathing. Anubis nodded approvingly, his ancient eyes gleaming with satisfaction as he observed the seeker's growing understanding. The fourth teaching emerged like dawn breaking over the cosmic horizon, illuminating new territories of possibility. Energy alignment with cosmic rhythms, the god continued, is the sacred dance that synchronizes your individual frequency with the universal symphony. Your ancestors knew this truth intimately, tracking the movements of celestial bodies not out of superstition, but from deep understanding that consciousness and cosmos move in perfect harmony. When you align your intentions with these natural cycles, you cease to swim against the current of existence and instead allow the cosmic tide to carry you toward your highest destiny. As Anubis spoke these words, the seeker began to feel the subtle rhythms that permeated all existence, the pulse of their own heartbeat, synchronizing with the rotation of distant galaxies, the rhythm of their breath, harmonizing with the ebb and flow of cosmic tides, the cycles of their thoughts, aligning with the eternal dance of creation and dissolution that governs all things. The fifth teaching revealed itself as a profound recognition of the life force that animated all existence. The Ka, Anubis, explained, his voice taking on the resonance of ancient temple chants, is what your modern world calls quantum energy, though they have forgotten its sacred nature. This vital essence flows through every atom, every cell, every thought, connecting all things in an intricate web of conscious relationship. To awaken your soul magic, you must learn to perceive and consciously direct this Ka energy, not as something separate from yourself, but as the very substance of your being. The seeker felt their awareness expanding to encompass this life force, sensing it as rivers of light flowing through their body, connecting them to every living thing, every star, every grain of sand in the cosmic desert. They understood that manipulation of this energy was not about forcing external compliance, but about learning to consciously participate in the flow of life itself. The sixth teaching emerged as Anubis began to project complex geometric patterns into the space around them, sacred forms that seemed to contain the blueprints of creation itself. Sacred geometry, the god revealed, is the language through which consciousness communicates with matter. These patterns are not mere artistic expressions, but functional technologies for reality creation. The pyramid, the golden spiral, the flower of life. Each carries specific vibrational signatures that can be used to harmonize your energy field with particular aspects of cosmic intelligence. The seeker watched in fascination as these geometric forms began to resonate with their own energy field, creating harmonics that seemed to unlock new levels of awareness and capability. They understood that by consciously working with these patterns, they could tune their consciousness like a cosmic instrument, achieving precise frequencies that would attract specific types of experiences and opportunities. The seventh teaching brought the foundation phase to its culmination as Anubis revealed the profound mystery of conscious observation. The observer effect, he intoned, is not merely a curious phenomenon discovered by your quantum physicists, but the fundamental mechanism through which consciousness creates reality. Every moment of conscious observation collapses infinite potential into specific manifestation. You are not a passive witness to reality, but the active creator of every experience through the simple act of conscious attention. As this truth penetrated the seeker's awareness, they felt the weight of both tremendous responsibility and unlimited creative power. They began to understand that every thought they entertained, every emotion they experienced, every belief they held, was literally shaping the quantum field around them, determining the nature of their future experiences. Anubis paused in his teaching, allowing these 7 foundational principles to integrate fully into the seeker's consciousness. The god's presence seemed to expand, encompassing not just the immediate space, but extending into dimensions beyond ordinary perception. When he spoke again, his voice carried the promise of even deeper revelations to come. These 7 teachings form the foundation upon which all soul magic rests. Anubis declared his form now appearing as a constellation of stars arranged in the eternal pattern of cosmic wisdom. They are the keys that unlock the door to conscious creation, the tools that transform you from a victim of circumstance into a master of destiny. But they are only the beginning. The intermediate mysteries await teachings that will show you how to transform not just your external circumstances, but the very fabric of your being itself. The seeker felt themselves poised on the threshold of an even greater adventure. Their consciousness expanded and prepared for the deeper mysteries that lay ahead. They understood that they had been fundamentally changed by these first 7 teachings, that their perception of reality would never again be limited by the illusions of separation and powerlessness that had once defined their existence. The quantum field around them pulsed with anticipation, as if the universe itself was eager to reveal its deeper secrets to one who had proven ready to receive them. Anubis smiled with the satisfaction of a master teacher who had successfully prepared a student for the greater challenges and revelations that lay ahead. In the cosmic silence that followed, the seeker felt themselves being prepared for the next phase of their initiation, knowing that each teaching would build upon the last, creating a comprehensive system of soul magic that would ultimately transform them into a conscious co-creator with the divine intelligence that underlies all existence. The cosmic silence stretched across eternity as Anubis prepared to unveil the intermediate mysteries, those sacred teachings that would transform the seeker from a novice practitioner into an adept of quantum consciousness. The god's form shifted into pure vibrational essence, his presence felt as waves of ancient wisdom that penetrated every layer of the seeker's being. The 8th teaching. Anubis began, his voice now the sound of cosmic frequencies harmonizing across dimensional boundaries, reveals the sacred art of vibrational mastery through ancient frequencies. Every emotion, every thought, every intention carries its own unique vibrational signature. Your ancestors discovered specific sound frequencies that could literally reprogram the quantum field, healing disease, manifesting abundance, and opening portals between dimensions. These were not mere chants or songs, but precise technologies for consciousness transformation. As the god spoke, The air around them began to vibrate with otherworldly harmonics. The seeker felt these frequencies penetrating their cellular structure, realigning their DNA, awakening dormant potentials that had been sleeping within their genetic code for millennia. They understood that sound was not merely vibration in air, but the fundamental creative force that spoke reality into existence. The ninth teaching emerged as Anubis demonstrated the principle of quantum coherence, his entire being suddenly radiating with perfect harmonic alignment. Coherence, he revealed, occurs when every aspect of your consciousness, thoughts, emotions, beliefs, intentions, and actions vibrate in perfect synchronization, like a cosmic orchestra playing a single magnificent symphony. In this state, your manifestation power increases exponentially, not through effort, but through the elimination of internal resistance and contradiction. The seeker experienced this state of coherence as Anubis guided them into perfect alignment. Every cell in their body seemed to sing the same note, every thought pointed in the same direction. Every emotion supported the same intention. In this unified state, they felt capable of reshaping reality with the gentlest touch of conscious intention. The 10th teaching revealed the sacred marriage that must occur within every awakened soul, the divine union of polarities. Anubis explained his form, now appearing as two intertwining serpents of light, is not merely symbolic, but represents the actual integration of masculine and feminine energies within your consciousness. The masculine principle provides focused intention and directed will, while the feminine principle offers receptive awareness and nurturing space for manifestation to unfold. When these forces unite within you, you become a complete creative being, capable of both conceiving and birthing new realities. As this integration occurred within the seeker's awareness, they felt a profound sense of wholeness that transcended any external relationship or achievement. They understood that the search for completion outside themselves had been a fundamental misunderstanding of their true nature as already complete beings, learning to express their wholeness. The 11th teaching transported them into the mysteries of temporal manipulation through consciousness. Time. Anubis revealed his presence, now extending across multiple dimensions simultaneously, is not the linear progression your limited perception suggests, but a spiral of interconnected moments, all existing simultaneously in the eternal now. Advanced practitioners learn to consciously navigate this temporal matrix, healing past traumas by changing their energetic signature in the present and calling forth future possibilities by aligning with their highest timeline. The seeker felt their consciousness expanding beyond the confines of linear time, perceiving past, present, and future as facets of a single, multidimensional jewel. They began to understand how present moment awareness could literally reshape their entire timeline, creating healing that rippled both backward and forward through their life experience. The 12th teaching unveiled the alchemical secrets of emotional transformation. Emotional alchemy. Anubis intoned his voice, carrying the wisdom of ages, is the sacred art of transmuting lower vibrational emotions into higher frequencies of love, joy, and compassion. This is not about suppressing or denying difficult emotions, but about recognizing them as raw energy that can be consciously refined and redirected toward creative purposes. The god demonstrated this principle by showing the seeker how to work with their own emotional energy, transforming fear into excitement, anger into passionate determination, and sadness into deep compassion. They learned that emotions were not obstacles to overcome, but powerful allies in the manifestation process when properly understood and directed. The 13th teaching revealed the profound art of quantum storytelling. Reality. Anubis explained his form now appearing as an infinite library where every book contained a different possible timeline, is not fixed, but fluid, not a single story, but an infinite collection of narratives waiting to be chosen and experienced. Your consciousness is the author, editor, and protagonist of your life story, with the power to rewrite any chapter, change any character, and choose any ending. The seeker learned to consciously examine the stories they had been telling themselves about their identity, their capabilities, and their possibilities. They discovered that by changing these internal narratives, they could literally reshape their external experience, transforming limitation into possibility, victim consciousness into creator consciousness. The 14th teaching opened the mysteries of quantum healing through template restoration. Every being, Anubis, revealed his presence, now radiating with healing light that seemed to contain the blueprint for perfect health, carries within their quantum field a perfect template of optimal health, vitality, and wholeness. Disease and dysfunction occur when this template becomes distorted by limiting beliefs, emotional trauma, or energetic interference. True healing involves restoring the perfect template and allowing physical reality to align with this quantum blueprint. The seeker experienced this healing principle directly as Anubis guided them in accessing their own perfect template. They felt their entire being reorganizing itself according to this higher pattern. Cells regenerating energy, flowing freely. Vitality returning to levels they had not experienced since childhood. The 15th teaching revealed gratitude as a cosmic amplification technology. Gratitude. Anubis explained his voice, now carrying the resonance of universal appreciation, is not merely a pleasant emotion or social courtesy, but a specific frequency that signals to the quantum field your readiness to receive more of whatever you are appreciating. It creates a feedback loop with the creative intelligence of the universe, generating an ever-expanding spiral of abundance and blessing. As the seeker embodied this teaching, they felt their entire energy field expanding and brightening, becoming a magnet for positive experiences and opportunities. They understood that gratitude was not dependent on external circumstances, but was a choice to recognize and appreciate the infinite gifts that consciousness was constantly offering. The 16th teaching unveiled the sacred breath as reality's anchor point. The breath, Anubis revealed, is the bridge between consciousness and matter, between intention and manifestation, between the infinite and the finite. Each conscious breath is an opportunity to anchor your highest vision into physical reality, to align your personal rhythm with cosmic rhythm, to remember your divine nature while inhabiting human form. The god taught the seeker specific breathing techniques that had been used in ancient temples to induce altered states of consciousness, accelerate manifestation, and maintain perfect health. They learned that the breath was not merely a biological function, but a sacred technology for consciousness transformation. The 17th teaching explored quantum entanglement healing across dimensions. Every relationship you have ever formed. Anubis explained his presence, now appearing as an infinite web of luminous connections, creates quantum entanglements that continue to influence your energy field across space and time. By consciously working with these connections, sending healing energy along the quantum threads that link you to others, you can facilitate profound transformation, not only in yourself, but in all those you have ever encountered. The seeker learned to perceive and work with these quantum connections, sending waves of love and healing to family members, friends, and even former adversaries. They discovered that this practice not only benefited others, but freed tremendous amounts of their own energy that had been locked in patterns of resentment, guilt, and unfinished emotional business. The 18th teaching revealed the divine witness as the key to consciousness expansion. The witness consciousness, Anubis intoned, is that aspect of your being that observes all experiences without being identified with any of them. It is the cosmic eye that watches thoughts without being thoughts, experiences emotions without being emotions, witnesses the body without being the body. By learning to identify with this witness rather than with the phenomena being witnessed, you transcend all limitations and remember your true nature as unlimited awareness. As the seeker learned to rest in this witness consciousness, they felt a profound sense of freedom and peace that was independent of any external circumstances. They understood that this was their true identity, not the temporary roles they played or the passing experiences they encountered, but the eternal awareness that observed it all. The 19th teaching unveiled manifestation through sacred geometric patterns. Each geometric form, Anubis revealed projecting complex mandala patterns into the space around them, carries specific vibrational codes that can be used to structure your intentions and accelerate their manifestation. By visualizing your desires within these sacred geometries, you provide the quantum field with precise templates for creation, ensuring that your manifestations align with cosmic harmony rather than personal ego. The seeker learned to work with various geometric patterns, discovering how different forms supported different types of manifestation. They understood that this was not mere visualization, but the conscious use of the fundamental patterns through which consciousness structures reality. The 20th teaching revealed the quantum heart as the center of compassionate creation. The heart. Anubis explained his presence, now radiating with infinite love, is not merely a physical organ, but a quantum portal through which divine love enters your personal reality. When you learn to create from the heart, rather than from the mind alone, your manifestations carry the frequency of love blessing, not only yourself, but all those who encounter the results of your creative work. As this teaching integrated into the seeker's awareness, they felt their entire approach to manifestation shifting from a mental exercise to a heart-centered practice. They understood that love was not a limitation on their creative power, but the very force that made true creation possible. The 21st teaching brought the intermediate phase to its culmination with the revelation of ancient Egyptian quantum meditation techniques. Your ancestors, Anubis revealed, developed sophisticated practices for entering quantum consciousness states, techniques that allowed them to transcend ordinary awareness and access the cosmic intelligence that underlies all existence. These meditations were not escapes from reality, but methods for accessing deeper levels of reality where true transformation becomes possible. The god guided the seeker through these ancient practices, teaching them how to use specific postures, breathing patterns, and mental techniques to achieve states of consciousness that modern science was only beginning to understand. In these elevated states, the seeker experienced direct communion with cosmic intelligence, receiving guidance and inspiration that transcended anything their ordinary mind could produce. As the intermediate teachings reached their completion, Anubis paused to allow their full integration. The seeker felt themselves fundamentally transformed, no longer the same being who had approached the quantum sanctuary seeking magical powers. They had become something far greater, a conscious participant in the cosmic creative process, equipped with the knowledge and skills necessary to serve as a bridge between human and divine consciousness. The intermediate mysteries have prepared you for the final phase. Anubis announced his presence, now encompassing multiple dimensions simultaneously. The master-level secrets await, teachings that will complete your transformation from seeker to master, from student to teacher, from human to divine co-creator. Are you prepared to receive the ultimate revelations that will forever change not only your own existence, but your capacity to serve the awakening of all consciousness? The cosmic threshold trembled as Anubis prepared to unveil the master-level secrets, those ultimate teachings that would complete the seeker's transformation from mortal consciousness into divine co-creator. The god's presence now transcended all form existing as pure intelligence that permeated every atom of existence, every possibility in the quantum field, every breath of cosmic wind that stirred the fabric of reality itself. The 22nd teaching. Anubis began his voice now, the sound of galaxies singing in perfect harmony, reveals the complete identity shift to cosmic consciousness. You have learned to work with energy, to align with cosmic rhythms, to heal and manifest through quantum principles. Now you must undergo the ultimate transformation, the recognition that you are not a separate being using cosmic forces, but cosmic consciousness itself, temporarily focused through the lens of individual experience. As these words penetrated the seeker's awareness, they felt their sense of individual identity dissolving and reforming on an infinite scale. They understood that their personal consciousness was like a single wave, recognizing itself as the entire ocean, distinct, yet never separate individual, yet always connected to the source from which all consciousness arises. The 23rd teaching unveiled the sacred art of reality editing through timeline mastery. Advanced practitioners. Anubis revealed his presence, now spanning across multiple timelines simultaneously. Learn to consciously navigate the quantum matrix of possibility, selecting and activating the timelines that serve their highest purpose while releasing those that no longer align with their evolved consciousness. This is not about changing the past, but about choosing which version of the past informs your present reality. The seeker experienced this principle directly as Anubis guided them through the process of timeline selection. They learned to perceive their life not as a single linear progression, but as a multidimensional tapestry of interconnected possibilities, each thread representing a different potential reality. By consciously choosing which threads to strengthen and which to release, they could literally edit their reality at the quantum level. The 24th teaching brought together all previous principles in a unified system of integration. The 16 quantum principles, Anubis explained, are not separate techniques to be applied individually, but facets of a single unified approach to conscious creation. When fully integrated, they create a coherent field of awareness that transforms every aspect of your existence, physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual, into a harmonious expression of divine intelligence. The god demonstrated this integration by showing the seeker how each principle supported and amplified all others, creating a synergistic effect that was far greater than the sum of its parts. They understood that mastery came not from perfecting individual techniques, but from embodying the unified field of consciousness from which all techniques arose. The 25th teaching revealed the ultimate secret of becoming the living temple of creation. Your body. Anubis intoned his presence, now radiating through every cell of the seeker's being, is not merely a biological vehicle, but a sacred temple designed to house divine consciousness. When you recognize and honor this truth, your physical form becomes a conscious instrument of cosmic intelligence, capable of channeling healing wisdom and creative power that transcends ordinary human limitations. As this recognition dawned, the seeker felt their entire relationship with their physical form transforming. They no longer saw their body as a limitation to transcend, but as a sacred vessel through which infinite consciousness could express itself in the material realm. Every cell became a conscious participant in the divine creative process. The 26th teaching unveiled quantum healing at the cellular command level. When you fully embody your divine nature, Anubis revealed you gain conscious access to the quantum field that underlies all physical manifestation. From this level of awareness, you can issue direct commands to your cellular structure, reprogramming genetic expression, reversing aging processes, and maintaining perfect health through conscious intention alone. The seeker learned specific techniques for communicating directly with their cellular intelligence, discovering that every cell was a conscious entity, eager to serve their highest good. They understood that aging and disease were not inevitable, but simply the result of unconscious programming that could be overridden by those who remembered their true nature as masters of matter. The 27th teaching revealed the sacred technology of instant manifestation. Instant manifestation, Anubis explained, occurs when there is perfect alignment between your conscious intention, your subconscious beliefs, your emotional state, and your energetic vibration. In this state of complete coherence, The quantum field responds immediately to your creative commands, collapsing possibility into reality without the delays typically associated with physical manifestation. The God guided the seeker through the precise process of achieving this state of perfect alignment, showing them how to identify and clear any internal resistance that might delay or distort their manifestations. They learned that instant manifestation was not about forcing outcomes, but about achieving such perfect harmony with cosmic intelligence that creation became as natural and effortless as breathing. The 28th teaching unveiled consciousness projection across dimensions. Advanced practitioners, Anubis revealed, learn to consciously project their awareness beyond the confines of physical reality, exploring other dimensions, communicating with non-physical intelligences, and gathering information and energy that can be brought back to enhance their earthly experience. The seeker experienced this teaching directly as Anubis guided their consciousness on a journey through multiple dimensional realms. They encountered beings of pure light who shared advanced healing techniques, visited crystalline cities where geometric perfection created perfect harmony, and explored libraries of cosmic knowledge that contained the wisdom of countless civilizations. The 29th teaching revealed the ultimate secret of quantum immortality. Death. Anubis explained his presence, now encompassing the eternal cycle of creation and dissolution, is not the end of consciousness, but simply a transition between different modes of existence. Those who master quantum consciousness learn to consciously navigate these transitions, maintaining continuity of awareness across multiple lifetimes and dimensional experiences. The God showed the seeker how consciousness could maintain its coherence and identity, even as it moved between different forms of embodiment. They understood that true immortality was not about preserving the physical body indefinitely, but about achieving such mastery of consciousness that death became simply another tool for exploration and service. The 30th teaching unveiled divine co-creation with universal intelligence, the highest level of mastery. Anubis revealed involves recognizing that you are not separate from the cosmic intelligence that creates and sustains all existence. In this state of unity consciousness, your individual will become perfectly aligned with divine will, and your creative activities become expressions of the universe's own evolutionary impulse. As this teaching integrated, the seeker felt their personal desires and ambitions transforming into instruments of cosmic service. They understood that true fulfillment came not from getting what they wanted, but from becoming a conscious channel through which the universe could express its infinite creativity and love. The 31st teaching revealed the Anubis initiation into godhood. This initiation, the God explained, is not about gaining power over others or over external circumstances, but about remembering your true nature as a divine being, temporarily exploring the adventure of human experience. It is the recognition that you have always been a god, simply dreaming that you were something less. The seeker underwent this initiation as Anubis transmitted the final codes of divine remembrance directly into their consciousness. They felt ancient memories, awakening recollections of their true identity as an eternal being of light, who had chosen to incarnate in physical form for the purpose of conscious evolution and service. The 32nd teaching unveiled quantum mastery of life and death cycles. Masters of quantum consciousness, Anubis revealed, learn to consciously participate in the cycles of creation and dissolution that govern all existence. They understand that every ending is a new beginning, every death a rebirth, every dissolution a preparation for greater creation. The god showed the seeker how to work consciously with these cycles, using periods of dissolution to release outdated patterns and limitations, and periods of creation to manifest new levels of beauty, wisdom, and service. They learned that resistance to natural cycles created suffering, while conscious participation in these cycles generated continuous growth and evolution. The 33rd teaching revealed the sacred union of science and mysticism. The artificial separation between scientific and mystical understanding, Anubis explained, is a temporary illusion that is now dissolving as human consciousness evolves. Advanced practitioners recognize that true science and authentic mysticism are simply different approaches to understanding the same underlying reality. The conscious, intelligent, creative force that manifests as both matter and spirit. The seeker experienced this union, directly understanding how quantum physics and ancient wisdom were describing the same fundamental principles from different perspectives. They saw how their mystical experiences could be understood in scientific terms, and how scientific discoveries validated the insights of ancient mystics. The 34th teaching unveiled transcending linear time through quantum awareness. Linear time, Anubis revealed, is a construct of limited consciousness that serves certain purposes in the learning process, but eventually becomes a constraint that must be transcended. Quantum awareness operates in the eternal now, where all possibilities exist simultaneously and can be accessed through focused intention and expanded consciousness. The god taught the seeker advanced techniques for operating outside linear time, showing them how to access information from future probabilities, heal past traumas by changing their energetic signature in the present, and experience the eternal now as their natural state of being. The 35th and final teaching encompassed all others in the ultimate revelation of infinite consciousness. You came seeking to awaken your soul magic. Anubis declared his presence now indistinguishable from the infinite field of consciousness itself. But you have discovered something far more profound. You have remembered that you are the magic. You are not a separate being trying to manipulate external forces, but consciousness itself, exploring its own infinite creative potential through the adventure of individual experience. As this final teaching integrated completely, the seeker felt themselves expanding beyond all boundaries and limitations. They understood that their journey had not been about gaining new powers or abilities, but about remembering powers and abilities that had always been theirs. They recognized that every challenge they had faced, every limitation they had experienced, every moment of doubt and struggle had been perfectly designed to lead them to this moment of ultimate remembrance. Now, Anubis concluded, his voice echoing across eternity, you must return to your world and live as the divine being you have remembered yourself to be. Share these teachings with those who are ready to receive them. But remember that the greatest teaching is always the example of a life lived in conscious alignment with divine principles. You are no longer a seeker of truth. You have become truth itself, walking in human form for the purpose of awakening all consciousness to its divine nature. The seeker, now transformed beyond recognition, yet more themselves than they had ever been, felt the cosmic sanctuary beginning to fade as they prepared to return to ordinary reality. But they carried within them now the complete codex of quantum consciousness, the 35 sacred teachings that would serve not only their own continued evolution, but the awakening of all humanity to its divine potential. As the final echoes of Anubis's wisdom faded into the cosmic silence, the transformed being stepped forward into their new life as a master of quantum consciousness, a living bridge between human and divine awareness, carrying the sacred fire of awakened consciousness into a world ready for transformation.